You can take your belt and shove it up your ass.
Why aren't you running your own stuff, man? You could be doing big business and it'd be more satisfying.
I know.
You're building something out there, and
So they actually took half my skull out.
Whoa.
He starts yelling at Gypsy Joe, and he's like, dude, why are you drinking a beer in my locker room, dude? And Gypsy Joe just looks up, and he said, I'm not the dude. I'm a man.
Spooky Lou, another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and you. Dropping an episode every day this week. It almost didn't happen, but you know what happened? George came through. George joined us. George was even a vampire over the weekend a couple weeks ago. What's up, Ref George? How we feeling?
Not much, Spooky Lou. How are you doing, Bobby?
Is that a good intro for you? We never even talked about the intro. Does that work, Ref George?
I mean, it was Vampire George Ferratu, not just George, but the vampire.
Oh,
whatever. We'll get there.
That's going to be hard to spell. I don't know about all that, George.
Oh, I got you already. Don't worry. But go ahead.
I appreciate you coming through short notice. I had a last-minute postponement, and you just came in and you saved the day, as you do. You've been everywhere. Every indie show I turn on, there's George reffing. How do you do it? That's why I know right out the gate. That's what I'm so most curious about. How the hell do you do it, George? How do you get all the bookings? How do you keep them? How do you maintain your physical frame and your mental wellness? How do you do it?
Oh, and no, everyone knows I'm not mentally well, Bobby. We're well past that. But yeah. Okay, wait. What was the first part you wanted me to start with? You unpacked a lot there.
I'm saying I see you everywhere. How do you do it?
So to start off, if I wouldn't work remotely, I wouldn't be able to pull any of it off.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me. Like, there's plenty of days where I'm tired. I mean, like, let's take the current stretch right now. Even though tonight we only did tonight on Mondays since we started the year, we do our Patreon tapings for 880. We've been doing a show called Happy Hour.
I've seen.
Don't get me wrong. It's primarily like the student show that's like going to be more for like our younger crop of kids to get reps, because the Thursday shows are starting to get they can get a little long sometimes. We got to work on keeping them under 2 hours, but we've been doing better at that lately.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so like the last day I had off would have been I had Tuesday off. Last Tuesday was the last day I had off.
Shoo.
That was from wrestling.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Just from wrestling, not the.
Yeah, because we were working the shoot in the meantime too. So.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, it shows your love for wrestling and your passion for it. I can turn on Fight TV and Thriller, and there you are on Rhino's Fed, and then I'm turning on a deathmatch clip and you're there, and then you're on 880. You must love what you're doing. Do you like what you're doing? Are you having a good time?
Oh, heck, tonight was even fun. Just watching some of the student matches, and like we had like a nice little like. Because a lot of them are like, one of them was working heel, like learning to work heel. And we came up with we ended up doing one of the finishes that Jonathan Gresham does in Ring of Honor, where he pulls the ring apron.
Okay.
And, the ref comes in and throws it, out the ring while they cheat behind you. So we did some stuff like that, and it was fun. Just goofing. We can goof off and just, not have to worry about being as formal as we do on Thursdays. Although on Thursdays aren't nearly as formal as other places either. But you know what I mean.
Every time I come up there, it's a blast, man. At least on the crowd side of things, everybody's having fun. Tell me about your average 880 Thursday.
Well, anymore lately, it's been kind of hard because like this year, it's been in terms of work. My work's been a lot busier in terms of projects we've had. So I've been like getting there. I'll usually get there around 6:30 or 7. Mm-hmm. Usually just get dressed and see what we got. Because we've at least gotten a lot better about booking the cards ahead of time now. Like, we've got the cards booked usually about 2 to 3 days ahead of time. So I at least know what I'm walking into every Thursday. When we first started this, it was very improvised, as, come as you go. Half the time we didn't know who would be able to work, and we would have to put the card together about an hour before. And you can tell how DIY is the term I'm looking for, do it yourself. Like, you can just tell how on those early streams, like how, we were still figuring everything out.
Right on.
And to a degree, we probably still have some stuff to figure out, but In terms, like a lot of people have Thursday, like not even Thursday shows, just typical like studio TV shows now, just because of the wrestling boom that we're. I don't know if we're at the apex of it or if we're on the tail end of it, but like wrestling's hot. Was hot for the last 2 or 3 years, and everybody started a studio show.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, we copied the template of Wrestling Open, but we made it our own. We put our own twist on it. So like,
you think we might be on the tail end of it? Why would you say
I'm not
that?
even. I'm not even necessarily saying that. I don't know where we're at in it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, I don't think we're at the beginning of it. I feel like we're definitely in the. You know, that probably would have been like closer to Cody's like rise to chasing Roman probably, but I don't know.
We're past the
I think
peak, man. I think
I
we're
wouldn't
still
say we're
getting
past
there.
the. I don't think we're past the peak, but I'm still having a lot of fun on indie shows. Like the IWR debut on Triller was very fun.
Dude, tell me about that, because it was quite the crowd. What I saw of it looked like a hell of a lot of fun. Tell me about working
That's
for
the
those
thing.
guys.
It wasn't really that much of a difference. It was just we happened to have this one on Triller. That's all, because it's a very regimented environment. Like it's a very tightly run professional ship. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're very very tight on times.
Okay.
Everybody always knows what they're doing. Everything's very structured. But like you get in, you get out. Like I mean, we'll start the show. The VIP matches will start at 6:30.
Okay.
We usually do 2 or 3 of those,
Uh-huh.
maybe 4. Those do like a pre-show segment
Mm-hmm.
that'll go like it's usually like a talk show gimmick,
Okay.
and then we'll do anywhere from like 6 to 8 matches with segments, and the show's usually done by 9:15.
Okay.
So, but like it's the matches aren't necessarily like 20 minutes long, but like what they're getting is like, I mean, you see the cars that are advertised for IWR. It's basically like a TNA show.
Yeah. I mean, they're bringing in the names, bringing in the stars.
I mean, the thing is like they're not even necessarily having to travel that far either, just because of the geography. Like
Okay.
Silas. So take the current champion right now, Silas Young. He beat Rhino after Rhino had Rhino was in a long feud with Tom Latimer.
Okay.
Before Latimer won the NWA title off EC3.
Okay.
But like Rhino beat him in the big blow off. Then he won the rematch in a cage last May.
Okay.
Then he ended up dropping it to Silas Young is the current champ. He moved to Michigan from Wisconsin last year. The Michigan Indies just keep getting like deeper, because now even like Michael Elgin's been booking a show in Toledo. Like it's literally like the entire like 2012 to 2014 Ring of Honor crew that just everybody has their own show up there now, and they're all.
I like it.
You can tell like they brought like everything they learned from backstage there to the indies, and there's just a lot of great opportunities to think about revolvers out there too. Like,
Yep.
the East Coast was probably like the indie hotbed for a very long time, but I feel like the power shifted a lot.
Think it's in the Midwest now, is what you're saying?
Not even necessarily. I'd say it's balanced. It's a lot more balanced than it used to be.
Okay. Let's talk about.
But yeah,
balance.
but think about where the Rumble was, Lou. The Rumble was in Indianapolis.
There you go. I know. No, I'm all for the.
SummerSlam was in Cleveland.
Yep.
Those aren't East Coast cities.
Exactly. No, I'm pulling for the Midwest. I'm all about it. Let's talk about balance, because you're talking about these well-structured shows. I know you also work VCW, and I know the tight-run ship they run there with the production in the back and everything going on. All right, let's flip the coin. You've been in the business for a little bit. Tell me about some of the most unprofessional shows you've seen along the way.
Oh goodness.
Show
It's
me
hard
the
to
progression, man. Show me, know you've seen
I mean,
some
hell,
shit.
like I've been like probably the lowest crowd I was ever in front of was in front of 8 people on a Wednesday in Benwood at the old Black Diamond building.
Okay.
But it wasn't for Rick. We'll leave the company nameless.
Okay.
But yeah, like that was the kind of stuff I was doing just to even get reps when I started. Like, but no, there are plenty of shows you're on. Like,
See?
I mean, there was one show in Saginaw. My first night there, they did basically recreated the Sandman crucifixion angle. So like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, up in Saginaw for UCW. Like
Yeah.
you see everything if you travel enough. I mean, it's insane.
Exactly. That's why I knew you'd be the guy to ask. See, knowing damn well how it worked out for ECW, you're going to go ahead and try it for yourself. How'd it go over?
Oh, I mean, nobody talked about it. That's the thing. Like, it was just, it was, it was a one night thing because the company ended up getting into trouble with the city over. They got cited for, I think the handicap bathrooms. 'Cause they were an old shopping center in Saginaw. The setup actually reminded me a lot of the old PWX building in McKeesport.
Okay.
When Jim was still taking care of it. I don't know how it is now. I haven't been there in years. But,
gotcha.
Yeah. Like it was a nice enough facility, but like if you were handicapped, like there was only one bathroom, it was all the way in the back.
Hey.
And you had to go through the green room and everything, so I get that.
We were in EIW. We didn't even have bathrooms. We had to put it on the flyer. No public restrooms. You're just going to have to figure it out, man. Go around the building and pee. That's EIW. Talk about unprofessional.
Oh, there would be plenty. No, trust me, there were plenty of venues like I've worked in where I have a rule where I wouldn't I'd stop eating or drinking about 2 to 3 hours beforehand, just so I wouldn't have to use the facilities. If you know what I mean.
Right, I've seen them. Oh yeah, for sure. Let's do this. Let's talk about Marcus Twist deathmatch show because that was a lot of fun and
ridiculous. Way more fun than I expected to have. Don't get me wrong. I expected to have fun, but it was like way more fun than I expected.
So he asked you to be a vampire. What's your first reaction?
Oh, the thing is, it wasn't even Marcus's idea. That was just like the show we decided to have it on.
Exactly. I've mentioned that.
It's an idea that I think Zach came up with. Zach Hunter or Mad Dog Zach Myers came up with about probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep, that's what I've been talking about that on the show. They've been trying to make this happen forever. Finally, they get their own show. They're getting their vampire. You did it well, man. It popped me. It was great, and it seems
only because it was Mark's birthday. It's never gonna happen again. It's a once and only time thing, and the only reason is because like it was his birthday, and he deserved to have a stupid present, and I had fun with it too. It was stupid.
Oh, it was so stupid and so good. Never say never. He has many more birthdays ahead. Just saying.
Oh, I know, but maybe we'll have to do another character because we're not gonna do the vampire again probably. Not for a while.
I was thinking that he made a movie with a were-zebra, so we got the werewolf, we got the Dracula vampire. So what do we do next? Creature from the Black Lagoon? We going to do a mummy?
Nothing gimmicky because that was a one-time thing. We don't need to. We're lucky it didn't go viral as it is. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Oh, there's still time. Give it time. Well, what else did you see you liked? What'd you like at the show? Sell the show to the folks that don't know.
I mean, what's not to like? I mean, we had a surprise appearance from big international deathmatch superstar, Big Japan representative Beastman, killing Lane Callie. Killing Lane Callie, which was Lane Callie gets really good heat. Like Lane, it was fun watching it. Like but when he powerbombed Lane through that table or through that door was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, like the whole night was fun. We have 4 matches.
Yeah,
3 matches.
There was kind of 2 for the first one, so you can say 5.
Paparazzi going through that crazy contraption.
Ouch.
With Drex Dyer. There's no way that was fun. It was fun to watch, not fun for him to take, probably.
You want to know a secret about that match? I'll go ahead and put it out there. Mark will probably kill me, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, I already know. I already know what you're going to say, so go ahead.
Well, the audience doesn't know. We might as well fill them in. Neither man was clued in on the rules of the match. They didn't know it was over after you went through the structure. So maybe we could have got some other cool stuff. But it's still pretty cool.
I wasn't necessarily going to even ring the bell either. I think they just kind of rang it because that's what Mark had announced before the match. So
I mean,
they did have more. They had more stuff called.
Yeah. But I will say, Mark had been telling me that all week. That was how you win the match. Put them through the. It might even been partially my idea for the contraption and everything. Sorry, Papa. Anyway. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I'm glad you had fun.
First time I'd seen Papa in a while too. It was good to see him.
Yeah,
and Drax. I haven't seen Drax in a long time. We got to relive the story of a. We want to talk about stuff. How about a barbed wire match that ends in a disqualification?
Oh, what? Tell me about that. How's that?
I'd rather not I'm not going to talk about where it was, but let's just say that it was a match between Drex Dyer and John Wayne Murdoch. And it was decided it made sense in story with where they went, but it ended up being like a no contest due to outside interference.
Ooh.
Yeah, The worst part is like it was a pretty good match too because Drex was getting pretty good color with the barbed wire and everything.
Okay.
And this was like a Wednesday in the middle of the pandemic, like in 2021.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah. Best part, they filled the whole room. It was, don't get me wrong, it was a humongous room. It was in Bell, West Virginia,
Uh-huh.
at the theater down there.
Okay. And they had fans there?
Yeah, no, they had probably like 100 people there for a Wednesday, like fucking 6 o'clock. What can you ask for?
In the middle of the
At that
pandemic.
time, at that time, especially then, like there wasn't an empty chair. It was
How
But
crazy.
at that point, I was happy to just be reffing anywhere to keep getting good, consistent work. Because at that point, I was just happy to get the vaccine to go travel again.
Well, I'm sure.
You know
What,
what I mean?
how'd these 150 fans react when it was a no contest?
Let's just say that the second I rang the bell, I went to the back immediately.
You was out.
I was bummed out, man. Like I saw the run sheet, and I was like, "Oh, I don't hate that."
No
And I was
doubt.
like, whatever. Sometimes that's what happens. Like at the end of the day, like it's there's one person who makes the call, and that's whoever runs the show, and that's if they get the ending they want.
So, okay. I bet that's interesting. I bet you've run into situations where you've had to make calls and you was like, man, this isn't a good call. But it sounds like you do it. Is there been a time like you struggled with it and you was like, I'm not going to do it, but you still did it? Or is it
Oh,
just...
there's only one time I ever went to business for myself and didn't go for a finish. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on a show. It's on a show that doesn't matter. It happened like a few months in. It was ridiculous. They tried to fucking call a rear naked choke spot with a rope break, but then they wanted to like have it like overturned or something. But it was a legal hold. It didn't even make sense because like they were trying to have it say that it was like a referee stoppage because the hold was illegal, but it was a rear naked choke, and a rear naked choke is a legal submission hold. So like.
You got to keep
And it
some
was-
legitimacy. You know, you have your own name to protect.
Yeah, so essentially, yeah, but like this show had a finger poke of doom finish on it, Lou. It was a mess.
So you went in the business. So what'd you do?
Oh,
How to
I don't
play?
even- well, no, they were supposed to like. I was supposed to like call for people to come out, or I don't even remember what happened. I was supposed to call somebody the winner,
Okay.
but yeah, eventually it was just a no contest because there was a bunch of run-ins at the end. It was
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even remember how it went.
Sounds silly.
Yeah, this was over 5 years ago.
But this one pushed you to your limit. You said, "Nah, I can't. This is too much. I ain't doing this."
Yeah.
Good on
Yeah,
you.
but no, it's very rare. Like it's very rare. Like that's the one time, and I've done like almost 3,000 matches at this point.
But it sounds like you recognize stupid. You're not going to do it for the pros. But when you recognize stupid, then you can get stupid
Well,
too.
this was also a show that like I knew I wasn't going back to either. This was like these guys were half trained. If some of the guys that were even
Right on.
trained, if you know what I mean.
Right on. It happens.
The crap you do in your first year of wrestling.
There you go. You're right. Okay. Well, tell me. Okay, so you were talking about the first year. Tell me about getting into the business. What was it? When was it? I have no clue. Like,
2018. It was fall 2018, October.
all right. What made you make the decision? How did it happen?
Honestly, I got tired of listening to all the jagoffs on YouTube talk about their opinions on wrestling when they'd never taken a bump.
Good. Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the one that I remember hating the most was Jack the Jobber from Cultaholics.
Oh man. Damn.
I couldn't stand that dude. Well, think about it. Every time I would try to just watch, I was always trying to stay as current as I could on the indies at that point because like I worked night shift and I was able to like night security and I was able to like just watch stuff on the internet all night.
Nice.
And I was able to stay current with New Japan. And I'd be watching the G1 and then all of a sudden he'd be throwing spoilers in there every time and then he'd be talking about matches. I'm like, this guy's a nerd. He's never bumped at all as far as I could tell. I don't think he ever trained, and honestly, he had really bad takes, and there was just a lot of other ones. I just didn't want to like be a part of the rabble. I wanted to actually like try to be a positive part of the business, I guess.
Hell yeah. What? It's a cool motivator. I like Jack the Jobber, but I definitely see where you're coming from. I'd like to think he took a bump or two when they was running their own promotion. I'd like to think he at least tried. But maybe not.
Yeah, but I know I can bump better than that guy. That's all that matters.
There you go. Yeah. So you said, screw this. I'm going to see what's really up. Was it
Pretty much.
Was it what you expected? Was it more? Was it what? How'd it match up?
The stuff I've been able to do is insane, honestly. Um, but yeah, I never thought I'd get as far as I did. At least when I started, probably.
Okay, you never saw it getting to where you're just constantly at shows.
I wasn't supposed to be a referee originally, even.
Okay, what was the original plan?
I was supposed to be a manager, and I was going to be a new version of Colonel Robert Parker, and have my own stud stable.
There's still time for that, I guess.
There's no need for it.
Not, no plans besides being a ref. You just want to ref till.
I'm perfectly content. That's the thing. You're never going to see me wrestle. You're never going to see me want to really wrestle consistently. I don't really want to manage. Like I know my job. I know what I'm good at. I'll take on other responsibilities like backstage or other things like that. But I'm more than content to just be a referee. In terms of like an on-screen product. Like I'm not. I knew I wasn't a very athletic guy. That's why I'm not wrestling. I was afraid I'd hurt other people.
I feel it. I feel that if anybody does.
That's if you can't do it safely, then like that's not fair to whoever the hell they would expect to put against alongside me. So like nah.
Yeah, and I think you have the respect for wrestling as well. You don't want to disgrace wrestling.
Exactly. Exactly.
I feel it. If
I don't really like them. There was a point where like I might have had a chance to be like a serviceable like enhancement guy where I was wrestling enough practice matches like during my first maybe year and a half, 2 years in. But yeah, no, like never anything long term where I would have been pushed or anything like that. I knew that. I can't chain. I couldn't do any of that stuff.
Okay.
Like I can bump and protect myself, but like I'm not like you're never gonna see me go out there throwing like crazy triple wrist locks or nothing like that.
So you could go in there and take an ass whooping if needed.
Of course. I mean, hell, you gotta see it. You've probably seen me do that a million times by now. If you say you go to as many indie shows as you do.
Fair enough.
That happens way too much. I've lost track.
Yeah, man. Hey, and good on you. I mean, it adds to the show. It's a good time whenever you get your ass kicked. You do it well. So it is what it is. And there's still time to take more ass kickings. What if Wes comes to you and he wants to start a new stud stable and you got to be the manager? What do you do? Hypothetical, of course.
I mean, what's the qualifiers? Do I have to give up reffing totally, or
you can still ref? Shoot, it's West
so
Virginia
everywhere except
wrestling.
VCW. Is that the qualifier?
Yeah, you can still ref everywhere but VCW, but you're running a stud stable.
If I could manage, well, that'd probably be fun. I could see myself doing that.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Okay, well there.
Well, like yeah, it would only be like it would be like a rare thing like that. It would have to be like it wouldn't be like if I would not want to like just like break out because I haven't even done the manager gimmick. Like it never even like made it on a show.
Right on.
So,
yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, the vampire got over. It shows you have a little bit of charisma and a little bit of something. So I'm just saying anything's possible from here. Let's bring the stud stable to VCW.
Nah, there's no need to bring the stud stable to
Well, I wanted to ask you this. Let's get serious. You've been in the business for a minute, since 2018. You've seen the highs and lows, the progression in our area. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. What have you seen gotten better? What's gotten worse? What overall in our area? What have you seen?
The draws are up.
Okay.
Significantly from like there were a lot of shows in 2018 where like you'd show up and like the crowds weren't as enthusiastic. I feel like a lot of new fans were made over the last like few years.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like take Rise for instance. Like Rise moving to the new like the mall, like where they're at, like increased their draws significantly. RWA was just breaking their records in like 2023, 2024, like, and they've been around for 15 years. They were doing all-time numbers.
Okay.
And Joy Wrestling consistently sells out Mr. Smalls for like crowds of 550 to 600. Big League Pro they just broke their pre-sale record with the last show, with the last Rumble, even with the snow.
Wow.
Yeah, like it. I mean, heck, Pros of Wrestling came back. They've had a lot of good shows. Like I was like those shows up in Butler at the Old Ramada and at the Tesla Wellness Hotel are fun. They're good. Those are good old school family shows.
Okay.
It looks like WrestleRex was able to fill the winery up. Like wrestling in Pittsburgh's like the draws are a lot bigger than they were then. Like older I mean, heck, there were older companies that like had like I'd heard of that weren't running when I started that have come back since then, and they're doing okay business. Like they're doing good business.
Hell yeah, good.
Like it's caused people to say our area's oversaturated. I think that's funny.
All
I
right.
don't think we're oversaturated in Pittsburgh. Not to the point where people say we are.
No.
They want to see oversaturation. Like Detroit has at least twice as many promotions as we do.
Okay.
And that's just Pittsburgh. Like they've got at least I can at least name probably 15 companies.
Really?
Yeah, and that's not even counting necessarily like Western Michigan or Northern Michigan or any of that stuff.
I think oversaturation is always an easy argument. I think people say that because they don't want more promotions, they don't want the competition, or the draws down. Oversaturation because this guy's running shows. Oversaturation. This I'm not one for the oversaturation stuff.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Trust me, with all the shows that are drawing, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of shows where the folks don't necessarily know what they're doing in terms of advertising. They don't draw.
Right.
Like, there's still plenty of those that are around.
That's what I was going to ask you, because on my last show, we was talking about how draws aren't really that great in West Virginia. Now, of course, common sense says there's a million more people in Pittsburgh and that area than there is in West Virginia. But still, we're not breaking no records or anything in West Virginia. What do you think the difference is? Why is everything so hot there and everything kind of lukewarm down my way?
Well, in all fairness, I don't feel like I can make an educated assessment on, like, say, the Charleston area, just because I haven't really been consistently taking bookings down there for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, I'd argue that a good deal of it probably is there isn't as many people down in, like, especially like Marion County, although it does seem like the shows in Harrison County are doing pretty good. The shows that RSW's got partnered up with the county,
right?
Like those seem to be doing pretty good. But no, I'd agree. Like even like, say like the best West Virginia show I ever did in terms of a draw was probably like 500 people.
Okay.
And that was an exception.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Like the Bash and Beckley shows, ASW, those do very well. But like Stephen P. News, the money, like he's the money behind those shows. They should do well with as much as he puts in.
Yeah.
Like. But hell, I'd love to work the show like one of those at the Beckley Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
But like aside from that, like my biggest one was probably like the Conquest show they had Danhausen for.
Right on.
They had Danhausen right at the peak of the pandemic in 2021, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did the tequila spot with Jock Sampson and everything, and that his fans were in line like 2 or 3 hours before he even got there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like. If you promote it right, you could probably get the draws up. But no, like it can be hard to do. Like a lot of it might be because of socioeconomic stuff too.
Yeah, we are poor as hell down here. I say that,
It's
but
not even necessarily that. Like stuff's getting expensive in Pittsburgh too, bro. Trust me.
Oh, I hear you. But at the same time,
stuff's expensive everywhere now. It sucks.
But I have to say the wrestling down this way is pretty fairly priced. I'm talking when RSW was charging for tickets, it was $10 for tickets. You don't even have to pay to get in those Harrison County shows. So, I mean, come on out, you know what I mean? Like, it's fairly priced. You're either paying nothing or $10, maybe $15 if you're going to those Conquest shows, 20 or whatever. But I don't know. I'd like to see more. What I do like, I like the deathmatch scene starting in West Virginia. I've been trying to put that over on the show. Not only Twist thing, you got Negative Outlook. Heck, in Parkersburg, they started with LAW and got some names. Mickey Knuckles coming in. Necro Butcher was coming in. Have you been seeing what's going on in this West Virginia deathmatch stuff?
I've been working it, brother. Yeah.
You've been working it, yeah. Well, tell me what you've seen.
I've never done an official Negative Outlook show.
Okay.
But like I have a feeling that like I have a feeling that Marcus's show was essentially what a Negative Outlook show is like. Is that fair?
Fair, different venue, but yeah.
With the lineup and stuff, I mean, who was running stuff backstage. Like it seemed like what I would imagine a Negative Outlook show. Like it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like hell, I love no rings. No rings are easy money. All I got to do is follow people around while they punch each other and spit beer on each other, and then eventually I kind of fall. Then I get to have beer at the end of the night, and I get paid very good without having a bump or anything. It's great.
Fair enough.
Like I don't, like a lot of people might say, like no ring. Like don't get me wrong, like. Not everybody can do no rings. Like there is an art to brawling.
Yeah,
I know that sounds counterintuitive, but like there is like It's the same as like there can be bad tag teams, there can be bad hardcore, there can be just be bad wrestling. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. But they are doing it right because the crowd's playing along. Tell me, compare and contrast the no ring crowds to a regular pro wrestling crowd.
A lot of no ring crowds might just be like, like just average casuals who might just be at the venue for the night just to have a drink, like
Right.
as opposed they're not necessarily going looking for wrestling. It's more so for the spectacle.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, though, they get into it and they play right along.
Oh yeah, because those are those are the shows you'll get like they get the fans of choppy the wrestlers and stuff, that kind of stuff.
There you go. And I've been outside of so many shows. I've heard those fans, man, I didn't know indie wrestling was this cool. Oh, yeah, and like we make fans that way with that no ring stuff, that no ring chicanery.
Hey, it all pays.
No ring.
But no, like it's gotten ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe there's just like some little part of me that just loves like slumming it in dirty bars or something. But
Good.
I have a blast doing them. So
You can tell, man. Hell yeah. What do you think the career highlight is so far? The best achievement, your proudest moment so far?
well, I mean, like heck, it has surprised like when I got on TNA. That's probably like the crowning achievement right now. So everybody knows about the angle with TNA and NXT that ran like last year. I was right around the beginning of it when Charlie Dempsey showed up.
Okay.
He interrupted the match. It was a match with Trey Miguel and Leon Slater, and he ended up hitting me with a gut wrench suplex
Ooh.
in the ECW arena.
Ooh. How'd that come about?
Just right place, right time. They need somebody to take a bump.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been going for. I've done like a lot of extra work over like the 2 or 3 years, but like so I had to build up a lot of trust that way. But yeah, a lot of times that's what it came down to.
Nice.
A lot of wrestling is timing and luck.
Ain't it though? Ain't it though? Tell me how you feel when you get to the back, the ride home. I mean, that's a pretty big moment.
Well, the ride home, my car broke down, so
Really?
that was fun. Yeah. No, life sucks. Like life's funny that way because like literally like went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows because like I ended up breaking down out near Bedford.
Peaks and valleys, man.
No. So like this is my sister's old Kia. I was on my way back from Philly.
Uh-huh.
I ended up stopping for gas around Breezewood.
Okay.
And yeah, like the catalytic converter was clogged. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. But yeah, because of that, I ended up getting towed back to Bedford, and then I had to go from Bedford to like North Versailles. It was a fucking all this after like doing a 16-hour day of like setup and everything else. That was the second day of tapings.
What?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, man. We talk about it on the show all the time. Peaks and valleys. It just always evens
Literally,
out for you. It always evens out. Okay, let's flip the coin. Something bad happens, then boom, something good happens. Give me an example.
Oh goodness. I mean, heck, because I don't really say that like too much bad's really happened to me in wrestling. I make mountains out of molehills, probably more than a lot of people do. But that's my fault.
You think you've had it pretty good so far?
I've had a good run. I mean, heck, I've had a better run than a lot of people have. Like a lot of people say you get what you put in. I know I run my butt off. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to be further, but like I'm very thankful for what I've gotten to do.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Like you want more, but you don't want it to like come off like you're an entitled jerk for not. Like I do need to stop and smell the roses more. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
Like, because I do kind of lose, like, I'll admit it, I do lose sight of like, a lot of the crazy cool stuff I've done.
For sure.
Sometimes you get lost in the sauce when you're chasing a goal.
For sure. Well, what's
and I don't know why I'm having this weird lucid moment with you, Lou. But
I get them out of everybody. Damn it! I get them all the time.
Oh, there it is.
Well, hey, man. It makes sense, and it's because you're so damn busy. I mean, I know the little bit I was on the road, just doing shows, on the weekends, and it all becomes a blur. So you do have to stop and be like, well, damn, I just
well, even just like figuring out the logistics for one weekend. Like I think I've done it so long, like I just forget. Like if when I explain like what one of my typical weekends could be to like a normal person, they're like, they look at me like I'm an alien, and I kind of like forget why, because it is kind of crazy the stuff we put ourselves through for wrestling.
Right. Give me your busiest weekend ever.
Oh goodness, that's hard to say because I've done like a bunch of like I've done 4-state swings.
Okay. All right. Give me an example.
And it's hard to remember. I'd have to probably go pull. I'd have to go get my match log for you. But like I've done probably like a Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia loop before at various points. I mean, like that would be like don't get me wrong. A lot of some of that might not necessarily be crazy. Some of that might be like a Pittsburgh show, and then like Wes is on Sunday or something. But that still is like 4 states.
Right on.
Right. But like that might have been like, that could have been like a Cleveland show on Wednesday. It could have yeah. So, RCW would run Wednesdays. I know I would do like RCW on Wednesday. I had to do RWR on Thursday. Then I would say maybe come back to Pittsburgh for something, or maybe go up to Erie for John McChesney or something, and come back to maybe work for West on a Sunday. I could do some stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Or even like show even like responsibilities that like TV are very like, time consuming. That's a very busy thing. It's just a different kind of busy.
Right.
Maybe heck, prop shopping. That's fun.
I can imagine, man. They send you. Give me an example of that. I
mean, heck, we've gotten buy trash cans from Walmart.
Right.
For street fights. That's why I ended up getting my own weapon stockpile I was carrying around in my car for a while. I still have some remnants of it, but I've got to like restock it. I've got some street signs. I've got some kendo sticks. I've got a staple gun, shit like that.
You got some extra weapons if somebody needs it.
Oh, yeah, literally, like we ended up having a street fight at the 880 show at WrestleMania last year. With Brohemoth and Zeke Mercer. If we didn't have we ended up using my weapons. If I wouldn't have had a stop sign and a kendo stick, they wouldn't have had anything to use.
For the love of wrestling, baby.
Exactly.
I love it. Somebody's got to look out. You're saving the day. It's the little things, man. Keeping the weapons in your car. I'm about it. Good on you. Good on you, George. I'm all for it, man. What's some goals for this year? What would you like to accomplish by the end of 2025?
Honestly, that's been part of the problem. I don't even really know what my goals should have been for the year, and it's already February. But I mean, right now, like where the deathmatch stuff is going very well. This weekend's going to be this weekend will be the realization of a lot of goals, like that I started going back back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Like horror. Don't get me wrong, Horror Slam's always like I've done a lot there, and I'll probably not that much more I can do there, but I'm still going to keep going back because that's home now. Okay. It's been home for it'll be 6 years in May. I've been in Horror Slam.
Really? Tell me.
Yeah.
Hell with your goals. I want to hear about Horror Slam. Tell me more about Horror Slam.
There's plenty to talk about. I mean, the show on I don't know. It'll probably end up being recorded. A lot of stuff for YouTube later. But like the lineup alone, Chuck Stein against Eric Dillinger for the deathmatch title. MM3 versus Schlack is finally happening for the first time ever.
Hell yeah.
Tommy Vendetta versus Masada.
Okay.
JJ Allen versus Lil Sicko.
Ooh.
Beastman's making his Horror Slam debut in a 4-way against Tommy Trainwreck and Aaron Ashura and Brandon Chappell.
Oh dear.
3-way tag match for the tag titles featuring the Backseat Boys. Backseat Boys, The Den, and Grim Reality, I believe. Briar Wellington and Mickey Knuckles. It's going to be a good show.
Man, that's insane.
And the next night, I don't know if I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing yet. I know I'll probably end up be doing like at least a lot of the deathmatch stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's the main event for the 26th anniversary of Combat Zone Wrestling. It's just insane to even talk about me being in the same sense as that.
Hell yeah.
Nick Gage and Alex Colon.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, like those are the types of matches that like I was like 6 years ago that I was like I remember like it took 6 months to line up a scheme to get a Nick Gage match originally.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably how I ended up at Horror Slam in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of good that it worked out because I ended up staying. But
there you go. Man, so you got some good stuff ahead of you. I love it. And talk
And
about
that's, yeah,
stuff.
I mean, the next weekend after that, what we're doing. Have you heard of We Love Wrestling?
Yeah.
Out of Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tommy Trainwreck's running. He's running the Berwyn Eagles Hall for his
Ooh.
deathmatch tournament. Yeah. Um, Let me see if I can pull up the field real quick, Lou, because it's actually
Ooh.
pretty sad.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a who's who.
Ooh.
Like and it's really good.
I love it. A lot of who's right now. A lot of folks have
No,
made
like,
themselves who's.
Don't get me wrong; it's not going to have like the GCW names in it, but like it's still going to have. Oh yeah, the Horror Slam show is actually a collab with We Love Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, they're collabing with a lot. They're doing a lot of collabs this year. Tommy's really working hard to get that brand out there.
I love it.
But I've had to go they post a lot on Instagram, so I'm having to go back a minute to like find. Okay, so it's called the Death Wish Cup. For starters, you've got Hoodfoot versus Bryant Woods from IWA Deep South. Have you ever seen Bryant Woods in person?
Not in person.
Bro, he's like 6'6". He's built like a brick shithouse. It's insane.
Okay.
And keep in mind, these are all first round matchups.
Right on.
Eric Dillinger versus JJ Escobar. Okay, wait. So to clarify, the first stipulation with Hoodfoot and Bryant Woods, it's bundles of joy. I assume that's going to be tubes and everything else.
Right on.
Eric Dillinger and JJ is a snap, crackle, and pop death match. I can only imagine what kind of fire he'll pull out.
Right.
Pins and needles death match. Chuck Stein versus Little Sicko. Knowing Chuck, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of syringes. God. This one might be match of the tournament in his first round. Wire and Ice death match. John Wayne Murdoch versus Dmitry Alexandrov.
Ooh.
Ultraviolet Baptism. Michael Kruger versus Remington Roar.
Wonder what that is.
Doors of Death. Dysfunction versus Dr. Redacted.
Oh wow.
And then Pop My Cherry. I think the gimmick with this one. This might be the first one. Okay, these are who I think. Okay, it's their first ever death match. The two of them. Jason Rage versus Jason Devine.
Oh, that's why it's Pop My Cherry, because I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, so like maybe there's more, but that is what I'm seeing so far, and I'd say that's a pretty stacked field.
Yeah.
In terms of like there's a lot of good names there
for sure. That's the names, man. There's a lot of names nowadays. That's what I was saying. Like, you can have a lot of these shows and have them stacked because so many people are making names for themselves, man. It's awesome right now. Who's some new guys on the block you like?
Some newer deathmatch guys.
Yeah.
I would like to go work for Nathan Mowry down in Atlanta. He started doing, I think it's called the Blood and Honey series.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they've had like 2 or 3 shows. X Brand out in Jersey looks like they seem like they've got some stuff going on there.
Yep.
Just in terms of deathmatch stuff. I don't know, like younger guys, like I don't know. A lot of the places I'm at, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of younger guys on the come up.
Fair enough. Got some established guys.
For the most part.
Then you go calling a young guy, a guy that's been doing it for 8 years, you think they're just on the come up, and then.
Well, I mean, if we're talking like Tommy Vendetta and MM3 are like they're both amazing in terms of like but like I mean I feel like people know that already. Like I feel like if you follow Deathmatch, you already know about those guys. You know about Atticus, like a lot of the younger guys, quote unquote, are the guys who are kind of already running the scene. Like Remington's been around for a few years now. Like there's a lot of Eric Dillinger is probably like the newest guy I think over the last few years who's really come up.
Right on.
Chuck Stein's probably one of the best secrets in deathmatch. But yeah, like there's a lot of good stuff in deathmatch right now.
See, that's
even non GCW. Like I mean, what about Tarzan Duran.
yeah.
How about that? Tarzan. That's my answer. Tarzan.
Hell
Fine.
yeah.
Fair.
I want to get him on the show. He seems like a wild man, legit.
Dude, Tarzan's his own vibe. Like he's a walking urban legend. It's amazing. I love that man. I'd do anything for him. Like
no doubt.
and you never know when you're gonna run into him.
Really?
But like you're gonna run into and you're always gonna run into him in the most random places. Like I've been in a million different locker rooms with Tarzan. Yeah. I've been in the locker rooms in Ross Township with Tarzan, and I've been in locker rooms in Milwaukee with Tarzan. Like I've been in New Jersey with it's stupid how many places I've been with Tarzan.
What are you doing out in Milwaukee? Where haven't you been yet? Like where?
I mean, that was only a one-time thing. That was part of the Train and Terror tour with JCW in October.
You was with JCW. That's insane. How you just? Oh yeah, man. I was with JCW. Like, goddamn. What are you doing?
I mean, I do a lot. You see it. Like,
tell me about the JCW experience.
I mean, I got to ref at the Gathering. That was one of the funnest experiences ever. Hopefully, I can do it again.
No doubt.
That's okay. If we want to talk about goals for 2025, I want to go back to the Gathering. That was just something about reffing shows on a stage at 2 or 3 a.m. in front of like people who've been doing God knows what for 3 days. It's
right.
Just there's something about it. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
And not only that, it's good wrestling. Like you're looking at the card, it's like everybody's been on TV. You're like, what? But no.
It seems like they're really taking it serious and giving it a serious run this time.
Oh no, like, trust me, the shows have been great. Like that's why I want to go back so bad. Like the Lunacy tapings are fun, and they're also, you laughed, they're structured very well. Like they have very detailed run sheets. They know what they're after. Like, and you got to go do it. You got to go, exactly to what they want.
How cool, man.
But the production value is amazing. Like any of the stuff on YouTube looks great.
Yeah, it all looks legit, and I mean, it looks like they're drawing crowds and it looks like they're getting wrestling crowds too. A lot of these crowds know who the boys and girls are, and dude, they're killing it.
That was when a lot of my earliest reels started to actually get some play. Where because I was able to collab with the JCW page. There's a lot of juggalos who follow me.
Hell yeah, hey man, whoop whoop.
Well, dude, there's just like juggalos and deathmatch. They're kind of like intertwined.
Yeah. There's a lot of intertwined communities with deathmatch. You've got the punk scene intertwined. You got the stunt scene.
I never realized. Like, I guess like I can be considered punk rock, even though I'm probably like the most white bread dude you'll ever find. Really.
No, you're punk as hell, George. Without
I
even
don't
trying.
know about that, bro.
Without even trying.
No. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a punk spirit, but bro, take one look at me, you're not gonna say I'm punk. Like,
give me a crazy road story.
Heck. Jeez. It's kind of hard to narrow one down, like especially like, oh boy,
some crazy happenings that could only happen in the pro wrestling world.
Traveling with Beastman and Mount Kilpis down to Tennessee and back was certainly a trip.
I'm sure. Did you have any room?
Oh, there was poor Paulie's feet stunk so bad. Beastman demanded that he wash his feet before he could go to bed. That was I don't know, maybe it was the cookout, Lou. I don't know, but that was there was more than just us. There was just more than them too, because I think the Great Alexander was with us. I'm trying to think of, because it was a TNA talent evaluation down in Georgia at Lariato Pro in Rome, Georgia.
Nice. Riding with that crew.
Yeah, no, that was in that was in like February or March of 2021. Like right when like people were starting to like go out again, pretty much.
If there was one thing you could change on the indie scene that you think would fix it, what would you do?
Oh, first off, who gets to determine what needs fixed?
You do. I mean, no pressure. People watch this and stuff, but what would you change? What would you fix?
Just wish that a lot of guys just people need to work the crowd more.
I got you.
Like, don't get me wrong. I can tell you, like, there's so many matches that I'll ref where like all the in-ring work will look amazing.
Right on.
Like all the spots look good, but like the workers don't give the crowd any reason to invest in them because like it just kind of looks like they're running through like predetermined stuff.
I got you.
Like it's good. Like I like my wrestling. Like it needs stuff needs to feel more organic.
I got you. Especially in my area, man, the crowd eats that stuff up. They're so invested in the characters. They want to interact. They want to give you hell. And
That's because that's old school Crockett territory, man. Like that's
it ain't
of course it's gonna
changed.
be that way.
It still ain't
No.
changed. It's still the same.
No.
You got some
I know.
smart ones, yeah, but they'll still play along. Thank God, you know. But
That is one thing about Pittsburgh. We do have like a diverse
mhm,
like every promotion has like its own type of crowd.
right on. You've got your
Like RWA is like your Memphis crowd.
mhm,
IWC is like your smart crowd. And Joy's like your casual punk crowd that's more there like for like to treat like a concert. Big League Pros like the normal town crowd that goes because it's the thing to do in town that weekend.
right on.
A lot of them do like wrestling.
Mhm.
But yeah, like there's a different crowd. Rise is also Rise is its own thing too. Like they're definitely their own local promotion. Like they're doing the tag team thing. The tag team tournament's been like a big thing for the last 3 years.
Uh-huh.
The first announced matchup. Did you see what it was on socials today?
I don't think I've seen that.
Warhawks versus System Elite.
Ooh, okay.
That's a tag match that can main event anywhere in Pittsburgh. Honestly, I feel like.
There's been a lot of folks coming from West Virginia up to Rise shows. It says something. I mean,
Well, there's been guys coming down from the NWA territory down to Pittsburgh a lot more too. John McChesney faced off with Carson Drake in that 8-man tag for the first time ever.
okay.
That was cool.
What do you think about this WWE ID deal? What's going to come of it? What's going on out there?
That's another like. I mean, honestly, like I don't know. But like Marcus Mathers is going to be wrestling Rich Swann on that CZW card on Saturday.
Ooh.
That'll probably be like that's probably the first WWE ID match I've even been on a card with. So like I honestly don't know what to think about it. Like I think it's like if anything, I feel like it's just kind of streamlining like who they can look at more.
Okay.
Like if it does lead to more opportunities for people, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Like I don't think I've never been ID'd. If they haven't told me yet. So,
Right.
like, good for everybody who is ID'd. I mean, if it gives people more motivation to like, if it gives people, the extra kick in the ass they need to succeed, then good.
I think it has.
I mean,
for at least some guys my way, like, hey man, it's worth a shot. If that's what they're doing, go for it.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure Sam Holloway and Marcus Mathers are going to have good matches because like they've had a few already.
Yeah.
Freedom Ramsey, he was ID'd out of Michigan. I can tell you that. Like, if we're talking like quality prospects, I think that like they're definitely picking quality guys. Sam Holloway's good, Freedom Ramsey's good, Marcus Mathers is good. Like they're picking quality talent. They're not picking they're not picking jamokes.
Yeah.
It's not like where they're putting they're not putting their stamp on just like anybody who's a body guy.
Nope.
Like you know what I mean? Like so I feel like it's. If anything, maybe it's like a combination of everything. Because like you've had like the old mindset where you only go for indie workers. Then you had like when Vince and Pritchard were only going to go for like the college athletes, which you had some people that were worked out. Like Lash Legend she's been amazing. Like
Right.
Out of that program, Thea Hale too.
Mm-hmm.
But like for maybe the ID is more of like a streamlined thing where you can go for both.
Okay.
Maybe you just go for the best prospect in terms of like you just go for somebody based on the one raw attribute they have.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like it's it's definitely like going to be like a new. If anything, it's probably like the new method of how they're going to scout.
See how it goes.
Like,
You seem optimistic, sir. So I like it. I dig it. George,
I mean, it's no worse than anything else out there, right?
no,
Like
it's hope, man. It's something good. I'll take something good all day, man. I'm about it. It's a positive.
I mean, if it gives you another way to be able to brand yourself to make more money, that's the name of the game anyway, right?
Damn right. I love it, brother. We
Is
have.
that's just something else you can put in your toolbox and use. And cool if you like,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not ID'd, but like I know if I was ID'd, I'd probably be getting a lot more interest, and I'd be able to market myself a lot better.
I know, by
So
goodness, Marshall Mathers, he was on the last IWC pay-per-view, and they let you know 572 times that he was a WWE ID. So they're going, these promotions are going to let people know WWE ID. It's going to be all over them. But better make them get a tattoo while they're at it. Sir, I usually warn folks in the past 10 minutes, but we've entered the final 5 minutes of WrestleRoni. In the final 5, I give everybody the opportunity to put their socials out there, upcoming dates, merchandise, anything you want to get off your chest. I don't care what you say. You just put it on out there.
despite the current trend of people loosening those restrictions, I still do not have merchandise. But you can find me on Facebook at my long Hungarian last name, George S. Zavadak, Z as in zebra A, V as in Victor A, D as in dog AK. If you search referee George Ross, it might come up too, but I don't know. Instagram, and I've also made the error of not making everything uniform, so you got to deal with that too. Instagram is Big Match Bubby, Bubby. That's where I do a lot of like my, I've become a content farmer over the last year or so. I usually drop a reel every morning.
You should.
I'm even getting to the point where I'm learning how to schedule content. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm having way too much fun with it.
Good.
And the fact that I can do all of it from my phone's even scarier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that's mainly where you're at. I'm starting to kind of experiment with TikTok. We'll see how that goes. But there's nothing to plug yet. Like I literally just created it today, so don't worry about that.
Ooh, George TikTok
but yeah,
coming.
We talked about my next 2 weeks coming up. March. Oh, and enjoy. I mean, AAD is always going to be happening. We've got AAD and Enjoy are the main Pittsburgh things I'll be doing right now. The NWA territory is running on March 15th for When in Rome 2.
Nice.
They're doing the Final Flowers rematch with EC3 and Richard Holiday.
Ooh.
If Holiday wins, he finally gets his shot at his rightful shot he wants at the NWA title against Tom Latimer. That was probably one of the highlights of 2024, honestly. They ended up going about 18 to 20 on the NWA YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was for the title.
Nice.
That's the last one I got to do. That was the NWA title match number 4.
Working NWA too, just throwing that out there at the end. Like, jeez, whiz, man. That's what I want to say about George, man. You're out there every weekend working left and right. And I hear so many guys. I hear them all the time. Why don't I get opportunities? Why don't I get this and that? Get in your car and go like George does, and I bet something happens for you, man. So you're reaping the rewards. I'm happy for you, man. You got any last words for the folks?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't do it myself, but if you're young, find a vet who travels everywhere and get in the car and go. Like, there was bound to be somebody who was as cool as Wes was to me, who, is like, hey, half the time they'll want you to be able to help, you'll be able to help them pit with gas, and they'll appreciate that.
Right.
But no, like find a vet, get in the car and go. And then eventually maybe you make enough connections where they'll just book you and you can just go yourself. Who knows?
There you go. I think it's working out for you all right. You think so?
Not bad.
Fair enough. Humble as hell, man. Hell yeah. You're allowed to brag on this show. I'm going to bring you back and let you brag.
Bro, we don't need to bring that side out. It exists. We don't need to do that.
I'd do it. I tell you what, if I was working around all the names you were and stuff, I'd make a podcast every day talking about it.
Then we'll just let the real speak for themselves, Lou. How about that?
There you go. Okay, fair enough. I like it. I appreciate you joining me, Bubby. I'll ask you to hold on the line for me. To the listeners, this is why we do it. Folks putting in hard work, living their dreams because of it. Perfect guest for that. In the meantime, go out there and pursue your dreams. Treat each other with kindness and respect. Don't take no shit from nobody. I promised y'all a podcast every day this week. George made sure it happened, so make sure to thank George. Hit him up on the socials. And that's the plan, man. We got something planned for tomorrow, the next day, and the next, and we're going to keep on doing it. Spooky Lou loves you. We're out of here.